podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hi, and welcome back to the official Arsenal Vavel YouTube channel. We're back with our first collab of the 2021-22 Premier League season. We've got a nice little one for you today. We've got Nnamdi back on, host of the Talk Your Talk podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you. It's good to have you back on for the new season. And then we've got Daniyal Khan, Arsenal presenter. How you doing, man? Always great to have you on.
Thank you, bro. Pleasure to be here, man.
We're gonna discuss some of the ongoings at Arsenal Football Club this week. Obviously, a bit of a disappointing defeat to Chelsea, excuse me, at the weekend, and that's kind of where we're going to start. Obviously, Arsenal lost 2-0 to Chelsea. Kind of bittersweet moments for some fans. Obviously, Dan, yourself being back at the game. Obviously, being back at a game for the first time, well, a full stadium in over 18 months, but then losing to Chelsea, our deadly London rivals, 2-0. How did it feel to be back, man?
Well, I was at the Brighton game at the back of last season, where it was like finally being back at the Emirates, and that was an incredible vibe, but still very strange. You still felt the eeriness and the emptiness, and you still felt that COVID very much was a thing hanging over football and life in general. On Sunday, though, it was totally different. There was this of like, I was at the Euro 2020 final as well, and that was, of course, ridiculous, insane, one of the maddest things I've ever experienced.
Yeah,
this felt a lot more wholesome. This one felt like, wow, we're home, and all the food stalls are out, and all the scarf vendors are out, and the Holloway Road is busy again, and like it just all felt very good. Like all the Arsenal fans, there was a lot of Arsenal fans that didn't know each other, that were all mingling, all chatting. And it really felt like a celebration before a ball had even been kicked. Like in the foyer, people were singing non-stop, an hour before kickoff. And just the noise, that noise when the Arsenal players came out, like I'd not felt that or heard that in so long in that stadium. So it almost makes the Chelsea result kind of easier to swallow in a way. I know that sounds stupid. I'm still disappointed in how we got dealt with. It felt like a punch to the stomach rather than getting obliterated. It felt like just that one hit in the stomach that we could have maybe avoided. Overall, being back at the stadium was amazing, but of course, as we'll talk about more, losing to Chelsea in that fashion, a bit of a low blow, man.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know about you, man, but obviously I know so many match-going Arsenal fans like yourself have a bit of a pre-match routine. I know I used to enjoy, get off the tube station at Arsenal, go to Pinebury Corner, go to some of the pubs, get your corner. I know Pinebury Corner is it shut down?
Pinebury Corner is the one. Pinebury Corner is the one.
It's shut down though, isn't it? Like because of COVID. I swear.
So because of COVID, but as far as I'm aware, it's back up and running.
I think it reopened, didn't it?
We're back. Yeah. Pinebury Corner is an institution, man. I mean, listen, Pinebury Corner was in Arsenal's third kit video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
essential part of the pre-match.
Absolutely.
100%, man.
Absolutely.
And then you've got some of the pubs, the pins, all these places people like to go. You get your match day program, you go to the concourse. I don't know about you, but Block 26 was kind of where I like to stand with the atmosphere, pre-match, get your beers in. What was the main highlight for you before the game? Like, where did you go where you're like, we're back, man?
So I think what it is when I arrive super early, then what I do is I get off at Highbury in Islington. So I like to make that walk all the way down the Holloway Road. Like, I like to just take it all in. And just it gives me a bit of time before I see the stadium and get gassed. It takes me a bit of time just to discuss the match and see what we think is going to happen. This one we were running a little bit tight, so we got off at Holloway Road, and when you get off, without fail, on your right hand side as you walk down, there's a banging jerk chicken spot where they sell patties and stuff. So it was 3 portions of jerk chicken and rice for me and my amigos. We got a little drink. My cousin who's with me, he got a half and half because he was super excited. He got a half and half before kickoff as well. So we played full whack for it as well. But yeah, then we just got down to outside the Armory, and that's where people are on the roundabout and the media's there, and you're meeting up with your friends, and just hung about and caught a vibe. And obviously behind us, the team bus arrived.
Yeah.
Lacazette was behind the team bus in his red Ferrari and like causing all sorts of commotion. I don't know why he thought that would be sensible, but literally everyone was surrounding him. And it was a really good vibe. It felt good to be back. I caught up with Julian Laurens from The Athletic and spoke to him about the game. He's actually he's a PSG fan, but also obviously because of his French roots, Arsenal. He's got a soft spot for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I caught up with him. Joel Bayer was outside the ground as well. And just that walk in that little funnel outside of Holloway Road Station up to the Emirates is just always a good vibe, man.
100%, man. I'm hoping to get back for the Norwich game, which I believe is our next home game. So fingers crossed, we'll be able to get back in the stadium. I think it will be a special moment for everyone returning to the ground. But obviously, an Arsenal podcast, we have to discuss everything about Arsenal. And unfortunately, a major factor of that day was the fact we lost 2-0 to our London rivals, Chelsea. Nnamdi, was that a tough one to swallow?
You know what? You've just gone from down like summarizing the whole, the beautiful atmosphere of coming back to the Emirates, and now we actually got to talk about the game. We've got time to in the whole mood. Tough. You know what? It was a tough one to swallow. But the thing is, and that's kind of the sad part about where I think our team's at. Were either of you two surprised at result at full time? No one really was surprised, and I think that was the real damning situation. Just the overall situation of it, that no one really expected us. Obviously, with the circumstances around the team and stuff. Really, I still think with all our first team, I don't think we was going to beat Chelsea. So I think it was a tough pill to swallow, but it wasn't a surprise for anyone. It wasn't a surprise for Gunners. It wasn't a surprise for any other fans in the league or around the world. I feel like we started that game expecting to lose, and that is a very sad realization to come to.
I think the way I saw the game, like Dan we were saying earlier, we started the game well. I thought like the first few minutes. I know again watching on TV is a completely different experience, but even Gary Neville was saying Arsenal looked sharp in this first bit. And then I think that was just the kind of original boost to fans, the party atmosphere at the Emirates. Just like everyone happy to be back. We were pushing them on, and we were playing some decent football, getting into some decent positions. But then Chelsea just kind of had a moment. They just took a breath. And then, what was it, something like 15 minutes into the game, and Lukaku's got the ball in the back of the net, and he's already shushing the Arsenal crowd. Like, Dan, again, was it just a tough one to swallow kind of being there?
Yeah, so spot on from Nnamdi, to be honest. Like, it's one of those ones where none of us were really expecting a win. When I was on my way to the Emirates, I wasn't hopeful about anything. I was just happy to be going back to watch the Arsenal. It was only when kickoff came and there was that first 5 minutes where I thought, are we having one of those days again where we just pull a stunning performance out of the bag because the weather's popping and the fans are here, and then we'll go back to our season, but for today we're going to ball out like Barca 09. We started off really well. There were some really good moments. Pepe was driving at the defense. Emil Smith-Rowe looked really lively. Sambi Lokonga, by the way.
Yeah, big fan.
That pass he made.
Honestly, that was ridiculous. I was on the side when he hit that ball. I saw the touch. I saw the way he opened up his body and the way he just leaned and cut that ball. It was like on a plate. And Sambi Lokonga was one of those really nice positives from the game. Seeing him going, wow, I think what we've done is, instead of going the Yves Bissouma route and getting paying the Premier League tax, we've gone and found a player with similar capabilities and like a similar kind of role in the team, and got him from Anderlecht instead, and he looks a top player. But you're right, with Chelsea, I felt like they were under pressure, but they took a breath, and I really felt this kind of maturity in their team and this mental assurance that we lack. I think players like Jorginho really bring that to their team. I think their back line, people like Cesar Azpilicueta, people like Marcos Alonso, they're players that don't scream out to you as world class, but they've got this maturity that comes from their experience that means they're able to hold moments like that down. And as we were discussing off camera as well, that left side, Tierney was bombing up, and there was a few early warning signs of us getting caught out with Reece James in far too much space. And in the end, you know, it told twice that's where we lost the game. And I think that's it. It would have been a disaster if we got absolutely mauled by Chelsea, no doubt. We would not be sitting here going, oh, well, you know, fair enough, the better team won. We would have been distraught by it. But it's equally irritating to know that it was so simple for us to see that that side is getting exposed. Yeah. Maybe we should do something about it. And then twice they used that weakness and got 2 goals from it.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, of course, Romelu was coming into the game and deciding to bully everyone and their nan. Like it was getting really tense. Like in the end, like honestly, when Lukaku was getting taken out, I was applauding. I was like, well, we've got to do something. We can't just let him back into our centre backs and send them for a hot dog every time the ball comes. So I think it's the avoidable nature. Chelsea on paper had more control of the game. We had some really good moments, some really good bursts without ever really causing them any issues. I don't know if you guys remember that Rob Holding chance was a huge chance, man.
Oh yeah, the header.
Header was so close. There was one where it went through and Emile Smith-Rowe just missed it on his toe.
And don't forget, we should have got a pen as well.
Bro, I was on that side, and I don't know if VAR were maybe in the ref's ear saying, "Listen, we've had a look at it, and it doesn't need to go any further." But I was shocked. I was standing up, going, "Don't worry, it's a pen. Like, there's no way that's not going to be a pen."
Yeah,
it wasn't. Didn't even know like it was checked.
I don't know, man. I guess you've got to look at where the contact point is, because their legs got tangled. But then the way VAR works, it's like if it's not clear and obvious, they won't change the ref's kind of view.
Sure.
I guess if there is a debate to be had about it, then I guess that kind of solves your point, saying potentially, I don't know, man. I guess I've got to watch it.
Do you know what? On my point, though, I don't mind that. I don't mind VAR giving the referee the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes I feel like we need to go back to the days where referees were allowed to get a call wrong. Obviously, with us, it hurts when it's your team.
Yeah.
But I think on the balance of the season, I think, you know, the fact that we now don't have to worry about what shoe size you are so that you don't get caught offside, I think is fine. But I mean, I've got a question for you, Nnamdi. Like in that 10 minutes when we were spurting on, did you have it at the back of your mind that if we don't capitalize in the next 5-10 minutes, we're going to get done by Chelsea? Did you have that feeling?
You know what? That's a great question. Do you remember? I think it was. I can't remember what year it was. I think it was like 2017 or something. And it was. I think we were playing United at home, and there was a time where we were just. I can't remember if it was 1-0 down or whatever at the time, but we were just peppering the goal. This was like De Gea when he
De Gea performance,
this game. And we were just going crazy. Lacazette had a chance, Sanchez had a chance, and then in my mind I was thinking, because we're all going, like, we've seen it happen so many times. We don't capitalize. Actually, not in just goodness. It happens in football. When you don't capitalize, you don't take your chances. You leave yourself open at the other side. So when I'm seeing that, but the thing is, in that opening first 10 minutes, I just felt enthusiastic. I like you said, I didn't really come into the game with very high hopes. We weren't on a great run of form. We had to lose a lot of key players. But when I saw that first opening 10 minutes, Tierney bombing down the left wing, Smith-Rowe getting a couple of nice touches in, Lokonga and Xhaka spraying the ball around, like it was just enthusiastic to see us actually, you know, going at them. A lot of the pre-match talk was, okay, maybe Arteta's going to go for a 3-4-3, try and match them, which in hindsight probably would be a good decision. But seeing that on a defensive approach to the game, I was happy to see us go at them. You know, the champions of Europe, whatever. It's at our stadium. It's our first home game of the season. Let's get at them and give the crowd something to be riled up for. So in my head, actually, wasn't thinking, okay, if we don't score now, we're going to concede, because I was just like, let's just ride out the wave. You know, it's a youthful team. We're clearly the underdogs in this game. Let's just see how long we can take it. But obviously, the couple goals of disappointment. But no, that first 10 minutes was pleasing to see.
Like you said earlier, though, the two main positives from that game, well, Sambi, massive positive, like what a player, man. He seems to be a gem. And I know when we signed him, people in Belgium around Anderlecht were saying, you signed the next big thing, like he's this, he's that. And like at the time, you take it with a pinch of salt, because, you know, if you sign anyone's player, they're going to big him up. But Sambi, massive positive. You're now at the stage where you're like, when Partey's fit, you're taking Xhaka out.
Yeah, Xhaka for him. Yeah.
Well, that's what that was actually a discussion that came up with me and my friends when we were talking about, let's say, like a midfield 3 pivot. When Partey comes in, then you thought about where Odegaard fits into it all, and then you actually thought, wow, Xhaka, Mr. Dependable, Mr. Big Game Energy, might actually have to be the one that faces the cut, because Sambi offers a dynamism and an energy that I almost feel like Xhaka wants to achieve, but doesn't have the physical capability to achieve. You see what I mean? Like, Xhaka wants to be that all action, screening the midfield, getting the tackle in and spraying a ball. But I mean, Sambi, it wasn't just his ability to pass, but I don't know if you saw, it's his ability to turn, like the half turn on his first touch.
I saw that at Brentford as well.
You know, like even when he feels like he's being pressed, the way he lets the ball run across his body and take it into space, I think is insane. And I'm a Xhaka fan, I'm a Xhaka advocate, and I feel like when Xhaka goes, we'll go, oh, do you know what? Maybe Xhaka wasn't so bad and we should just calm ourselves down as entitled fans. But Sambi Lokonga is something really special, and I feel like a player like that in front of Partey will allow Partey to not feel like he has to be so all action. He can just do the positional stuff that he's good at, and Martin Odegaard can kind of connect the midfield to the front 3. So, man, there's always a lot to be positive about, and I think Sambi's a great addition, and I think Xhaka would be the one that cuts out of that ideal midfield 3. But man, I was watching the game, and one thing struck me, Dan, was, I know it's a bit obvious, but no, we're a young team, man. We're a really young team, and I think we're asking too much from ourselves to want to say we should be fighting for the top 4, we should this, we should that. Like, when we look at who's our star player? Saka. Saka is young. When you look at,
he's 19. He's 19.
Bro, so like when you look at like 19-year-olds around the world right now, you've got like Jude Bellingham and that. We're looking at Jude Bellingham and saying he's a child.
He's 18 still, Jude Bellingham.
Jude Bellingham is 18. But when we look at Saka, maybe because he's in the Premier League, or maybe he's at a prominent role in our team, we all of a sudden are now, right, this guy needs to drag us to success. You've got Emile Smith-Rowe as well, super young. Sambi Lokonga, super young. Like, we've got in key elements of our team, even Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard has been around for donkey's years, and he's seen as this big time player. He's still only 22. You know? And he's never really had a club where he feels like he belongs and he can go and strut his stuff. This is his first big time arrival after flirting with loan spells in and out of Real Madrid. So I think it's about managing expectations and trying to find out the best way to get the best out of these players and make them gel, like identity wise, especially.
Yeah, 100%. I retweeted something on Twitter the other day, just kind of touching on what you said, and I've said it on some various kind of platforms this last couple of weeks. But our team, you look at our team right now, like you said, Saka 19, Smith-Rowe's 20, Martinelli he's 20, Balogun he's around 19, 20. That made up our front 4 against Brentford, and it made up at one point what our front 4 was against Chelsea. Some of these players are like playing a lot of minutes at this age, and you think about it, in 4 or 5 years time, just think how good they could be. Think of Odegaard now, baller, big player, but he's only 22. Think in 3-4 years how much of a big player he could be. Just kind of on that, I retweeted something on Twitter saying Arsenal in 5 years' time, Saka 24 years old, Martinelli 25, Balogun 25, Smith-Rowe 25, Saliba 25, Lokonga 26, Tavares 26, Nelson 26, Ben White 28, Gabriel 28, Tierney 29, Odegaard 27. Think where that team will be in 5 years' time, where we could be potentially pushing to. I think the future's bright, and Xhaka kind of has touched on it in some of his interviews, saying we're destined for success. But Nnamdi, how exciting could that team be in just like 4 or 5 years' time?
I think see the ages, the promise, the talent, like it does excite me, but it's don't be pessimistic, but it's just a bit hard to be excited and look 4 or 5 years in the future when you look at how things are, if that makes sense. It's difficult because sometimes when you look at that and you look at the let's see this summer, you can see a kind of direction that we're going in with the signings of Ramsdale, Odegaard, Tavares, all young players that aren't going to come in and change the team straight away, but in 2-3 years, of course. But then when you caveat that now, you look at the signings of signing of Willian, the signings of the signings of Willian. Mustafi was offered a new contract last summer. Orba got a huge bumper contract. Talks of Lacazette getting a new contract. So when you look at that, you think, what direction are we actually going in? Are we going in this youthful direction? Because if so, then cashing in on Laka and them sort of players now is key. But then if we're not doing that, then why are you know what I mean? Like why are these not getting big money, probably stifling? Why is Laka getting a new contract, possibly stifling the growth of someone like Balogun or Martinelli? Does that make sense?
It almost feels like where we want to go one way, but we don't want to fully commit. We want to have our other hand in the other pipe just in case. And when you do that, then you're not doing anything. You know, by doing both tentatively, you're not actually taking a direction. I completely.
Could that be our downfall then? Could that be our downfall for the here and now? Like focusing too much on the future rather than prioritizing the here and now?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think I agree with Daniel like 100%. If you're not all in on one, okay, we're going for this youthful project, we're going to give these guys game time the same ways we did with Saka, the same way we've done with Smith Rowe, fine. If you do that, obviously, and I saw a quote from Wenger a couple of years ago, of all people, and there's something about like, obviously you'll cost yourself a couple points trusting in the youth, but overall it'll pay dividends later on.
Absolutely.
And it's a thing where like Daniel's right, if you don't put it all into this project, then you're not going to get anything out of it. And also it comes down to the fact that I agree, we do need a bit of balance, but you can't come and have a complete team of 21-year-olds, 11-21-years and say, okay, cool, go get me Champions League. It's not going to work. But when you're doing when it comes to the balance, you've got to look at the older, more experienced players and say they are letting the team down. They are not helping. We are relying on a 19-year-old Saka, a 21-year-old Smith Rowe. Like our 7 and number 10 are this is great. They're hell and graduates. But I mean, really, Orba, Xhaka, Laka, Leno, these big name, big wage players are letting the team down. And so it is true where it's like you do need some balance, but I think you've got to go all one way. And if we're going to go for the youth,
when you said the youngsters, it reminded me of when you look at United's class of '99, where you had a lot of game-changing youngsters, but then to caveat that, you had monsters. You had Roy Keane, you had Peter Schmeichel, you had Dennis Irwin talking to Gary Neville. There were these pillars of the club that were basically holding things together and making sure these young players had the mental stability to go out and express themselves and say, listen, we're here, we'll take care of all that nitty gritty stuff. You go and ball out. And you're absolutely right. It feels like we can't rely on our most senior and most experienced players. I go back to it, performance-wise, maybe not mentally. I feel like we can rely on people like Xhaka. Unfortunately, people like Lacazette and Aubameyang, I feel like and I'm a Lacazette fan, and Aubameyang has given me some great moments in an Arsenal shot, but I feel like when it's popping off, they often check out of the situation depending on their mood. And when you've got players like Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka that don't seem to check out in any situation, there's that alienation that, well, are we all on the same page or not? Or are you kind of just here for the vibes and the London lifestyle, or are you here to win games? And I think that's where we're in a bit of a limbo. And it's funny because normally if we want to clear people out, we do not have an attractive array of people that we can get big money for. So we've got younger players that we need to hold on to, otherwise our club will take a step back. And then we've got other players that we can't really sell because our team's not doing well enough for us to command a big fee for them.
Yeah.
So then we're stuck in that very flat, almost like Liverpool 2012 vibe, you know, where and that's what we have to accept, that football is full of cycles, right? I mean, you know, before Chelsea ended up dominating the last 15 years, they were essentially an irrelevant cup team. United, before they did the absolute madness in the late 90s and through the 2000s and the 80s, was a period of absolute nothingness. And unfortunately, Arsenal are going through that cycle. We're going through a cycle where we are underachieving by our historical standards, and we have to have a bit of a reality check, almost like the England team. You know, how many years did we look at England and go, England are one of the top 5 teams in the world, England should be doing this? The moment Gareth Southgate actually realized, hold on, listen, we're not one of the best teams in the world. We need to develop a system where we work towards our strengths. We ended up reaching the semi-finals of the World Cup and then the final of the Euros. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like with Arsenal, we need to do that. And I guess the only question is now is, do we sacrifice the Arsenal way of playing football to solidify ourselves, or do we say, well, no, we can't lose our club identity just to win games? Like, what way do you turn?
For
Well
sure.
said.
So just on the whole kind of the Chelsea game, just to wrap that up really. I know there's a lot. Well, some fans have kind of said, judging Mikel Arteta on that performance and saying that he's at fault for it. But for me personally, it's kind of hard to do that when you've only got, well, that team that you've got. You don't have your first choice defence, you don't have your first choice midfield, and your strikers are, one's on the bench after having one training session, and the other one's, in the box because he's only just come out of isolation. So, Nnamdi, how much of a factor do you think those 9 players that are out at the moment will have when they come back in? And do you feel like that's a fair time to judge Mikel Arteta? Because just to touch on it, you've got the likes of Gabriel, Ben White. Is that our first choice centre-back pairing? I'd say it is. They're both right-footed, which is, I guess, maybe the only thing. But Gabriel and Ben White, I'd say, are our 2 best defenders. Thomas Partey, on his day, is one of the best midfielders in Europe, in my opinion. And then Lacazette, Aubameyang, I mean, whatever you can say about them, they still improve this team. How much of Martin Odegaard as well, of course, who you've got to come in. Anyone I've missed there, really? That kind of, not anyone that I can really think of. But how much of a difference do you think those players will make when they come back in?
Well, like I said before, I personally don't believe in that game on Sunday that those lot would have changed the game too much. But I will say, I agree with you there when you said that. I don't really think you can blame Arteta for Sunday's result. He lost. I mean, who can carry it forward losing 9 key players? But I will say, that is when you can judge him, because especially in the cases of like Odegaard, even Ramsdale if he gets eased in as well. I mean, these are Arteta signings, Edu signings. So obviously this is the direction, this is their plan, these are their tactics. You can only judge them when you see it put to work, see these players put into the first 11. I do think, I don't know if this is just emotion talking, but I still have, I mean, Orba went through a lot last year. And so I feel like with a nice, youthful, fluid, energetic, a lot of movement behind him, Odegaard and Smith Rowe will definitely come in as well, fluctuate with Pepe and Saka on the wings. I do still think there are goals in Orba.
I noticed when he came on for that last 10 minutes, there was a real direction to the team. There really was. And I was excited about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Aubameyang as well. He's a player that he feeds off the crowd, doesn't he? He
feeds off energy, definitely.
He missed the fans.
Yeah.
And I think this is his big chance. I mean, we will know at the end of the season if there's still anything left in Aubameyang for us. And I said, Nnamdi, I agree with you, man. I think Aubameyang's he's got a big season this year.
Big season. He's where the goals come from. If they don't come from him, gone.
You think this time last year, everyone was like, Aubameyang's lethal. He just won us the Community Shield. He won the FA Cup. He scored a goal on the opening day against Fulham. It just all went downhill from there, man. And honestly, I feel like he can't change that much in a year. I do believe there's still a guy in there that is, because in that time people were saying, he's up there as one of the best in Europe. He's still got this. He's one of the best strikers in the Premier League by far. And now people are just saying, well, clowning him and turning
He's finished. He's finished.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got to take into consideration as well the fact I do not know why Arteta has this just love to just slap him on the left and hoping he's that's not his game. He's not going to come and change the game from there. He's a striker. He's always been a striker. So I don't get it. So I do think Orba as our number 9, with some good players behind him, I still think there's goals in there, and I think Odegaard will come in. I'm really happy with the signing of Odegaard.
And like you said as well, like players, you said about the fluctuation between like Pepe, Odegaard, and stuff like that. Players like Odegaard they want a direct forward in front of them. They want to be able to pick those players out. And you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. I think Oba's got something to prove to himself. And I think we've got players behind him to help him do that if we just stick with him centrally.
One thing as well that I'll add about what Dan was saying as well, that I think now for the first time in quite a long time, we have a squad where, other than, let me say, maybe 3 players, I think Saka, Tierney, and maybe a couple players around them, not everyone's position is guaranteed. I mean, you can go with either Smith Rowe or Odegaard. Pepe's an enigma. You never know what you're going to get from him. So and then now Ramsdale's come to challenge Leno. The right back position's up in the air. I think finally we have a squad where it's not the greatest quality in there, but there's players that are like, you know what? For me to get here, start on at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, I need to put in a shift. Do you know what I mean? And competition is only good. I mean, I think Orba dropped off a lot as well because he knew that no matter what happens, I'm still gonna start on the left every week. And now he's not gonna get that. Martinelli wasn't great on the weekend, but I mean Martinelli can walk up his game and press Orba up there. Odegaard, Saka, Pepe, Smith Rowe, even Nelson can come in the team as well. There's competition for places, and I think that's good for the team.
100%. Just on that, I know you touched on it. Dan, what's your opinion on Martinelli at centre forward? Do you think that's his future, or do you think he's more on the left wing?
You know what? I remember looking, and I love Gabby, by the way. I'm just going to preface that, but I guess because I prefaced it with something positive. But I actually said to my cousin, I'm not sure what Martinelli does, and I wasn't sure whether it was because he wasn't getting the service he needed, but it just felt like he was a guy that ran a lot without doing much. And for me, I think football's changed, man. I just don't think, that Thierry Henry or that kind of, I'm not comparing Jackson Martinez to Thierry Henry, by the way, but that Jackson Martinez kind of on the shoulder, really quick striker that likes finessing it into the bottom corner. I don't know if football allows for that type of striker anymore. I think you either have a focal point who is your big number 9 or your monster, you've got
Lukaku.
Lewandowski, Haaland, Lukaku, you've got that type of player. Or you have like a pivot style one like Firmino or Griezmann or someone that brings players in. Or you have like a dynamic front 3 where all of them are kind of doing their bits. So with that said, originally I was like, oh my God, if we have Gabby through the middle, that rapid kind of striker. Like, for example, when Mbappe first came on the scene, I was like, oh my God, Mbappe's that kind of almost blast from the past, really quick striker in the middle of the park that's going to tear defenses apart. But I think he will now go through his career as a wide forward. I think that. And I guess because of how football's changing, I think that's where Gabby's future lies as well, with a license to come in on his stronger foot, but starting the situation out wide. Aubameyang is quick, but he is way more of a poacher than someone that runs at centre backs or something like that. His first season with us, if you look at his the type of goals he scored, bro, this guy was fox in the box. He wasn't like that type of guy that would try and blitz past a centre back or beat 2 people and put it in the top corner. So I think for Gabby, his future lies out wide personally. And is this a big season for him? That's the question. I think we've been waiting for Gabby to fully pop off. And every time we see him, he's almost, his name being on the team sheet is what gets the fans talking the most. Because we almost feel like, oh, is this the game where Gabby's going to do it? Remains to be seen. It's a big season for him. And I think people seem to have forgotten about him because we've got so many problems. I think Gabby's got a lot a lot to prove why we're so obsessed with him.
100%. And like you said, I'm a big fan of Gabby as well. I think he's his attitude, I think, is what stands out to him. He's got that killer attitude, and I think that's what Arteta loves as well. Just a never say die. Like, even though he was just like running and he didn't really get any service. Like, he just kept running, and that's what you'll get with Gabby. But this season, I don't know. I feel like he might be used more as like a substitute kind of impact player, because when everyone's
70th minute vibe.
Yeah, when you've got everyone fit, you'd probably think, well, Saka will probably go on the left or right. It would be Saka and Pepe would probably be your first choice wingers. And then for me personally, I'm not a massive fan of Gabby up front, just because I don't think he's got that physicality, like you said, to hold the ball up, which I think you really need in today's game. Which I think.
But see, that's the thing. Sorry to cut you. That's the thing that he's. Yeah, exactly. But let's to balance it there. He's what, 19, 20? How's Gabby again? I mean, I'm expecting him. He's not got his man's body. I'm expecting him to be, 100%. The focal point, back off, back off the centre back. It's unfair for him to expect that from him. So.
Like Haaland is a freak of nature. And no one in the world should ever be compared to what Haaland is doing.
For sure. I'm just saying, for here and now, I think this season right now, what Gabby is and how he's playing, I think I prefer him on the left. Just because of that ability, and like you said, having that license to come inside like Aubameyang does. But I think this season, I think he just needs to play. He needs minutes. Like,
do you think it's I think it's a confidence thing. I think I'm not comparing the two players, but I almost feel like it's one of those ones where Pep Guardiola handled Phil Foden's situation very, very well. He never made Foden feel like he wasn't part of the future and the present of the club. And he never made Foden feel like he had anything to prove. He almost gave Foden this thing that, listen, it's only a matter of time where you are going to be our guy, And I think with that meant that Foden didn't have the pressure. Foden just needed to go and play when he was given chances. And I think that's a similar approach that needs to be developed with Gabby Martinelli. We need to put Gabby on the pitch and make him feel like he can express himself. So we need to make him feel like he can go and attempt to take on 3 players if he wants. Without feeling like he's going to get the chop or he's going to get slaughtered if he doesn't. Because once we unlock that confidence in him, I know from doing an interview with him, his English, I've not caught up with him since, but his English was non-existent, but he was taking lessons. He's not one of those young players that is very worldly, that, I know English and I know about pop culture, what's going on here. He's very Brazilian, very South American, and now he's moved to the other side of the world. And I feel like giving him that confidence to just go and express himself and that everything will be okay, we'll get the best out of him eventually, I think.
Yeah, for sure. There's a player in there, man, and I'm really excited to see what Gabby can do this season. Alongside Reece Nelson as well. I think if he plays for us, I think Nelson just needs to play. He needs minutes as well, whether that be on loan, whether that be with us. That's just another question, but we'll wait and see that one. We still got how many days we've got left until the.
Well, I need to touch on that, bro. Sorry, I'm so disappointed Reece is not going out on loan.
I'm kind of surprised by that as well.
I'd have to agree. Like I said, I just think he needs minutes. And you'd think if he's not gone on loan, then you'd think he's going to get minutes with us. But then,
him at Palace would be such a good.
A good move.
I'm not saying football is as simple as this, but you've got Vieira. Vieira loves Arsenal. Arsenal love Vieira. Vieira knows he's got the best interests of Reece Nelson at heart. He's not going to leave him out to dry. He's going to look after him. The way Palace like to play, they've lost Andros Townsend. Palace. They've got Eze injured. I know they signed another player from the Championship, but they've got someone like Zaha outside. Reece Nelson is crying out for a team like this, a team that relies on their wide players. And he proved it at Hoffenheim. When he got the Young Player of the Year in the Bundesliga, he proved that he's got what it takes. And at Arsenal, sometimes I feel like when you've been around for ages, it's kind of like people get comfortable with leaving you out or leaving you on the side. And maybe Reece Nelson feels comfortable at Arsenal. And I love Reece Nelson. He's a great guy, and I think he's a wavy baller as well. But I think he needs to take a step away from Arsenal and show people what he's got. And kind of like what Joe Willock did. Joe Willock was.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm going out to Newcastle, and he's now got a stat that is ridiculous, bro. He broke Shearer's record of most consecutive goals scored. bro, well, that's nuts. And now he's got his move. And okay, maybe Joe Willock didn't dream of playing for Newcastle one day. He wanted to play for the Arsenal. But Joe Willock now is in a team where he's valued, respected, and where he feels like he can make a difference. And Reece Nelson, if we're not ready to cut ties with him, send him on loan, let him have a season and ball out.
Yeah, he's going to stagnate. I don't know if you don't remember the, you know what it was? It was, I don't know what this stuck out to me. It was Bate Borisov in Europa League 2017. And he was playing, I think like right wing back or something. And I remember Martin Keown was just waxing lyrical about him because he was going crazy. Like he was playing so well. Yeah. And that was 2017. It's now 4 years later and we're still saying, oh yeah, he's got a bit of potential. Like, it's true. If when you get to the point where it's like 4 years potential, and you're looking at his best mate, Joe Willock, is gone and taken the world. Like, yeah, I think
minutes. He needs minutes. He needs to play 25, 30 games in a season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. That's what needs to happen with Reece. And I thought he should have gone on loan when Willock went on loan. I was disappointed with him on loan then. So because he was just sat around, wasn't he? And for the remainder of the season, just kind of sat around, like not even coming off the bench much at all. So I think he made appearances in the under-23s, I'm pretty sure. So
he should have gone on loan last January. It didn't happen.
You can't be doing that this season.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Reece Nelson, a player of his stature, cannot be. Yeah, he cannot be confined to playing for the under-23s Arsenal.
And we don't even have European football, so it's not like we can offer a lot. Exactly. You know, maybe probably is Reece Nelson at his stage in his career going to be okay with a couple FA Cup games here and there? I don't think so.
No, he needs to be in a situation where he's competing for that starting lineup every week.
Because Joe Willock's probably got an eye on the World Cup team now. If he sticks in there, like he's
he's at least, even if he's not got an eye on the World Cup team, he's at least got an eye on, okay, I can now become an established Premier League player.
Making his debut for the England first team in some of the friendlies or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So I'm sure Reece Nelson will see that and be motivated to anyway. Like we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously we'll move on now a little bit to talk about the transfer window so far and who we've signed. Obviously we've had let me just try to remember. We had Lokonga, Tavares, Ben White, Ødegaard, and Ramsdale. I haven't missed anyone there, have I? No. So based off those players we've signed so far, there's rumours of we might have one more. Danny, you feeling happy as far as incomings are concerned going ahead into the new season?
Sambi Lokonga, had no idea who he was, loved him after his first interview, adore him after his performances. Aaron Ramsdale.
What guy?
Well, listen, I love Arsenal just like Aaron Ramsdale loves Arsenal. That's brilliant. But
yeah, true.
I don't know why I can't believe Sheffield United squeezed that much out of us. Anyway, fine. It's not my dad's money anyway. I don't care. But but still, I feel like that money could have gone somewhere else. But I am wary of the fact that after we sold Emmy, our goalkeeping situation in terms of who Leno could compete with was so dire. That Ramsdale walking in, who by the way was selected for England's Euro 2020 squad. Let's not forget that. This guy is an England goalkeeper. I think Leno and Ramsdale should not really like each other. I think it should be a Henderson and De Gea situation where they almost look at each other and go, I want that number one shirt. I'm not happy for you if you're playing.
And he came and said that in his interview. He was like, I want to be number one.
Well, good. That's great. Good. That's great. And so that I'm absolutely fine with. Ødegaard, I think wrapping up Ødegaard is kind of, it's not as exciting because it's not a new signing. You saw him play last year. But I feel like Ødegaard is a top player.
And Dan, where do you stand on the Ødegaard and Maddison debate? Where do you stand on that?
In terms of who would I rather have
Who would you have rather had, yeah.
Do you know what the thing is? Maddison, 70 million, I feel like we would have had our pants fall down. I don't know if Maddison is the type of guy that is... I like Maddison. I'm a Madders guy. I like his personality. I like what he brings to a team, and I like his dynamism as well. But I don't feel like he would have been, that almost impact signing like a Sanchez or an Ozil, where we feel like our goals are going to go up, or he's going to be that kind of that creative spot. I think Ødegaard is the more level-headed choice. Like we want Maddison and we're going to do a sick reveal video and it's going to be all vibey and stuff like that. I think Ødegaard is the more level-headed choice, and I think Ødegaard on default is a class player, is a class above a player like Maddison, with all due respect. So
Has he got a higher ceiling as well?
Yeah, he's got a higher ceiling, and also it's one of those ones where I don't see for now Emile Smith-Rowe fitting into a midfield three. I'd like to see Emile Smith-Rowe. In a midfield three, I'd like to see Emile Smith-Rowe in a front three, like out wide, like him and Saka switching in and out of situations and making them dizzy. And I feel like a midfielder like Odegaard is a much better complement to someone like Lokonga and Partey in the midfield. So I'm pleased with it, and I'm glad we didn't have to fork out 70 million for Maddison, because I feel like 70 million outside of the Prem gets you an insane player. Like it gets you really an insane player. Where do you stand on it?
Yeah, I'm go on, Daniyal.
No, sorry, no, you go, Nnamdi.
Yeah, I was the same. You know what? I'm backtracked now, because in the last episode I came here with you and Eddie, and I was like, yeah, I want Maddison. He's the statement signing. But I think when you calm down, you realize if you're being level-headed, Odegaard for the half the price of Maddison, Odegaard is not half the player of Maddison.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's probably the how can I say? He's the smart signing. He's the smart acquisition. I do think he's got a higher ceiling. Maddison's injury record isn't great. I would have loved James Maddison to play for Arsenal. Don't get me wrong.
Same.
But then if Arsenal, the only point where I believe this signing becomes a better signing than signing Maddison is if the funds that we're saving on potentially getting Maddison goes on a right back or a striker or something like that.
Right.
If we are smart with that money and invest it in the team somewhere else where we have a good 22-year-old promising attacking midfielder with a right back coming in for the price of Maddison, then I'm happy. If not, only time will tell with it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next. It leads on quite nicely to that, Nnamdi. If we do have one more sign in this window, where does that have to be priority?
Right back. Please, Edu, Arteta, if you're listening, please sign a right back.
Thank you.
Oh, please. We need a right back.
Is Chambers English Cafu not doing it enough for you?
Please. Sign a right back.
In Chambers and Cedric, we have two very good backup right backs, but not a starter. I know, Dan, you were a big you were a big kind of fan of, like, dream of having Hakimi at the carpet, but then he's gone PSG, and that's long gone, man. That's long gone. But Dan,
tell me, talk this talk, yeah. 70 million on Hakimi, I would drive and pick up Hakimi myself, bring him, take him to dinner, wine and dine his family. I'm happy to spend 70 million on a right back like Hakimi.
What a baller, man.
What a baller.
Like
he's gone PSG, he's gone to join Leo Messi.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Like, what the signings that I want don't make sense, and they're never going to happen. But sometimes I feel like, why can't we recognize that Inter Milan are financially in the shit right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they need money. They need money. So they're not going to ask for 100 million for Lautaro Martinez. They're going to, why can't we look at the fact that Lille, they've lost their manager, their title-winning manager. The TV rights in France have changed, so a lot of clubs have lost money, and Lille need to generate funds in order to sustain their model, which they have for 3 or 4 years. Why are we not looking at it?
You wanted Sanchez.
I want Renato Sanchez, man.
You wanted him.
So that, and if you told me we would sign Hakimi, Renato Sanchez, and Lautaro Martinez in one window, I'd say fuck PSG's window. Sorry for my language. I would honestly go, bruv, I'm about to smash this table. Anyway, but do you know what I mean? And I know I'm in fantasy land, but I don't feel like Hakimi, Sanchez, and Martinez were like outrageously unreasonable signings. Like, I wasn't asking for Haaland. And
if you take one set, so if we just try and do the maths here, so we spent, how much is it? 129 million in the window so far. So you say Martinez maybe 60 mil.
Yeah.
Hakimi 60 again.
No, how much did PSG pay for him?
Was that 70 euros? I think 70 million euros, something like that.
Wait, they paid 70.
Let me check. I think something like that.
Oh, wait, I don't know.
If we say, wait, so Renato Sanchez 35, 30, and then you're talking Hakimi, you're saying somewhere around the 60 mark again. That's 150. That's 150 M's, 150 mil, compared to what we spent.
60 mil. Yeah, you're right.
60. Yeah. So whereabouts? does that make the same kind of impact as the signings we've made so far? But because then you're thinking, I don't know, you're thinking then you don't have a backup goalkeeper, you don't have that attacking midfielder, but you do have Renato Sanchez.
Renato Sanchez is everything. Renato Sanchez is an attacker when you want him to be. He's a destroyer when you want him to be. He's box to box when you want him to be. Partey, Lokonga, and Sanchez.
Maybe we can. You could maybe consider that one in the next window.
Sorry, are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Try not to completely.
Sure. we are no longer swearing. I apologize to all the viewers. I let it slip. It's happens cool, in football.
Don't worry.
I let it slip like Gerrard, but it's not happening anymore.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Back to family language. Sorry, yes. So that midfield there, you're talking about a midfielder that would make me faint. You know.
Yeah.
So
I think with it, I think maybe we could look at. I think next summer we'll go for a centre mid because I don't know if Xhaka will still be. Well, I don't know. He's just signed a long-term deal, hasn't he? So potentially at some point soon we could be looking for a new centre mid, but we'll save that conversation for another day. But we're going to wrap up the podcast here with one final subject. It's been great having you both on so far. Always love it having you. The last time we had you on was both of you on was the Euros prediction.
Euros, yeah.
What a time!
We got it horribly wrong.
I think we predicted Turkey to get to the semis, and
we said Turkey. Oh my god, that was Nnamdi, by the way.
Thanks for sticking me in it.
No, I'm just putting it out there. Nnamdi was dying on that hill.
And then we predicted Scotland to beat Spain, and it was all
God. But we did predict England to make the final.
We did, but it was against France. I don't think anyone predicted Italy to go as far as they did, even though they had what a tournament. And we got Jorginho just kind of had an unbelievable tournament along with the rest of them as well. But we'll wrap up the podcast talking about our game in midweek. We're playing West Brom in the second round of the Carabao Cup. If you can tell by my voice, I'm absolutely buzzing. It is to be fair, it is a chance for us to get our first win of this season.
First goal as well.
Yeah, first goal as well. I mean, if we're not careful and we don't score against West Brom or City,
the August goal of the season is looking crazy.
Yeah, our goal of the month might have to be a training video goal. But yeah, West Brom. Dan, can you feel any kind of excitement for that game?
No, but also, listen, man. I guess sometimes when it's gone wrong like this, sometimes you need a game to ball out and express yourself. And I hope someone like Gabby Martinelli doesn't get a rest. I hope Arteta's in his ear saying, "Go and get a goal." Go and open your account for the season. I hope Flo Balogun gets in the mix of that and says, "Go and get a goal." Like, this is the Carling Cup. This is against a championship team. Score against this team and show them that you're a Premier League baller. But it is what it is. It's a Carling Cup. If we win, if we score some nice goals, I'll watch them back and I'll be excited. But all roads lead to Man City, to be honest. I'm not really bothered about the West Brom game.
Nnamdi, do we play a full strength team, realistically, to try and get something to appease the fans here? Do we play a strong team? Because, we've lost our first two games. We haven't won any of the official games in pre-season. Apart from the two behind closed doors ones.
Oh my!
Do we have to play a strong team here just to get some sort of win on the board?
Oh my gosh, we are falling. Look how we're talking about our club.
I know, man.
You know what? Yeah, we have to win. I wouldn't say full strength. I think we're still waiting on scans on the updates of Tierney and those sort of players. I would say, I would say reasonably strong. Honestly,
Nelly, Reece.
Yeah, those sort of some players definitely can get a
start
run.
Maybe like Tavares. I think it'd be good to see him.
For sure. He's 100%.
But he'll start, but then he'll probably have to start again on Sunday, depending on Tierney, innit? So,
do you play Aubameyang? Do you play Lacazette, seeing as they can get minutes before City?
I agree with Daniel. I would start Martinelli and Balogun. I think Auburn only had one training session last week, innit? So I let him rest until City, so he's fully ready. But you're right. We have to win. We have to win. And
West Brom will be no pushover as well. I know they were relegated, but you saw the way they played against us in some of the games last season, and they're already top of the championship. You can't really read into that too much at this stage, but I think like we have to be careful here.
That's a banana slip right there that we're looking at, because then out of there you can't say, okay, Chelsea were a better team and Brentford we had all this. If we go lose to West Brom tomorrow night, it's like, what's the excuse?
We're gonna have to delete Twitter.
Yeah.
Don't put this episode out if we lose tomorrow.
So yeah, no, 100%. Do we need to focus on these cup competitions this season though? We're not in Europe.
Yeah.
We're going to have limited minutes, but to something to appease the fans this season, we need to focus on a Carabao Cup or
I think me and Daniel agree.
All our eggs in the league basket.
Yeah, no.
Top four.
We need to throw everything.
Yep.
In that damn basket and then smash that. But it's just got to be about the league.
Yeah,
it's just got to be about the league and pushing as high up the table as we can. Whether it's top four would be the equivalent of a trophy. Like if you say to me top four or the FA Cup and the Carling Cup, I'm taking the top four. I can't lie.
Somewhere Arsene Wenger's watching this and smiling.
Yeah, he's like, I told you. But Papa Wengs, I've always believed in you. Like, not these pagans. I've always loved you. So I agree.
So just to play devil's advocate here, would you take top four over fifth place and a FA Cup?
Yes. Yeah, I would. I haven't seen my team play Champions League football in 5 years.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if we're gonna get smoked in the Champions League. Do you see what I mean?
I just want to be in it. Honestly, I just want to be in it. I think
you think, yeah, but then also, I guess with Nnamdi's point, you'd get more money, you'd be able to invest in more players to then hopefully build a stronger side to not get smoked in the Champions League.
What you said there, the fifth
FA Cup and fifth. So Europa League football, and if we got FA Cup and fifth place, I would feel happy. Like obviously, I think I'd rather have fourth in Champions League football, but I would feel happy with FA Cup and fifth. With Arteta saying that's progression. We've seen something on last season. As long as we keep progressing, that's something good. But I don't know. For you, Dan, FA Cup and fifth.
You know what? I'm a big fan of winning the Europa League. You know.
Yeah.
I honestly, like these. I
want to win it. I want to win it.
Some fans talk about the Europa League like it's nothing. Like when we're in the Europa League, I am desperate for us to win it because of two things. One, the prize is getting into the Champions League.
Yeah.
Two, the experience of quarterfinal, semi-final, final, all or nothing. Like I feel like that does so much for players and that does so much for team mentality. You know, like, yeah, just growing and knowing how to get through barriers in knockout tournaments.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I don't know if I would just take scraping fourth place and then, really kind of just playing a few group stage games and then struggling in the other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would take. I'd take fifth in FA Cup. Surprisingly, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "What are you on about?" But I just feel like I'd do that, and then if we could win the Europa League as well, then we've got two trophies. We've got two trophies and Champions League football, and the vibes. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
always got the vibes, man. Always got the vibes. So yeah, cheers, lads. It's been great to have you back on again. Cheers, guys, for watching. Just before we go, West Brom predictions. Nnamdi?
2-0 Arsenal.
2-0. Dan?
3-0 Arsenal. 3.
Okay. That would be a very good result. I don't know. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet if I'm being completely honest. I'd say 2-1 just for the sake of it. I do think we'll win though, and I think we need to win it. It's as simple as that. But Arsenal play West Brom in midweek. What day is it? It is Wednesday. Arsenal play West Brom on Wednesday, so that will be that's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, tomorrow. I'm recording tomorrow, so hopefully this will be out on match day. So hopefully Arsenal can get the win, and then Carabao Cup could be our year. Maybe we'll wait and see. It is normally Man City's competition.
Yeah, the Man City Cup.
Yeah, for sure. So cheers, lads, for coming on. It's been great. Make sure to like, subscribe. All these guys' links will be in the description, so make sure to drop them a follow. And we will be back again soon. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Cheers, bro. Thanks.
Find more great shows or join the team at sport-social.co.uk.